Our relationship with Papua New Guinea is a long one, especially in the Sepik River region from where our guests are from. In the Sepik River region, one of our board members who's been with us for almost 30 years, Elaine Mons, also the director of Alternate Gallery, has been building relations between the communities in the Sepik and our communities here in Canada. Those programs that we've done in partnership in the Sepik have included maternal health, nursing programs, health programs, and most recently we've been working with them on some of the critical issues that they are facing with regards to mine. So there's much to be shared with this story, and of course it's most appropriate, it comes from the people of the land. So it's a real honor to have, Claytus and Edward and Nancy here. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Claytus Yambon to join me up here and maybe to walk us through some of what's happening in the Sepik. So here's some of the key issues that are being faced there. Maybe you want to... So we have awareness, exploitation, consultation, cultural sensitivity, and local economy.
I am from Papua New Guinea. My name is Claytus Yambon, and I have my two colleges over there, and Edward, Dumoy, and Nancy Wani. We are from the same. We are from East Sepik province here. These are the province. 11 provinces in Papua New Guinea. 19 provinces. I mean, it's not 21 provinces, but we are one of those provinces very close to the border of Indonesia, and we live along this the great river called the mighty Sepik River. And actually, the Sepik River is not the original name; was somewhere come from German people that the name is, but named this river. And the Sepik River is divided into 3 tribes. There's the upper tribe. They are from far as here. They are another tribes. And then from here to there is another tribe. And we, the Yagmul people, we own this central part of Sepik. And then we own the central part of Sepik, and we are recognized as a different tribe. We have our own language. We have our own, culture. And, you can see most of our hard work and our culture display around the some museums around the world. So in that regard, we think that this mining will be somewhere, the mining here, that we are not anything belongs to the mine. We will not benefit from the mine. It's just a very small people over there. There's a population of about 1,000 people that just around this area will be benefiting from that mine, and the provincial government and national government. And from here and down to the mouth of the river, to the end of the river, there's about more than 50 villages, and there's thousands of people are living there, and the impact will be just, it will be ours. The small people here will be benefiting, and they'll enjoy the life. And the rest of the people downstream, we are benefiting, we are getting out of the mine, and the government will be distracted. But as I said, we are not in the standard. We are still enjoy our culture, the cultural value, really in a social and economical benefit. We are not getting any further up there. We still lack of, basic services like the hospitals, schools, and other things. But if the mining goes where we are not, as I said, the government, the infrastructure is not there. And if the mining go, it will be much worse for us. So there's nothing that we can stop the mine. There's nothing to stop, but the government and the company, the government invite the company to, to operate. And it will be so difficult for us to stop, but we just, looking for an option. If there's any circumstances of that we can try to do about to control the mine, to do it in a way that not to, just, we can be destroyed. We can, they have to be, care for our life, because our life is the river. Yes, Papua New Guinea. Because Papua New Guinea, we have been independent by Australian 40 years ago. And we have our own laws to guide us through. And our law about the land was just perfect. We really appreciate, like, the 95% of the land belongs to people. That was good. We really appreciate that. But one law that really is affecting us is that the law that government, we just only own the surface, and the 16 feet beneath the soil is owned by the government. So, like mine, just got that they can just walk through and tell us to just remove what is on the surface and then go underneath and dig the thing. So that's the whole law is affecting us. It's we have two big river in our country. One is Fly, one is Sepik. This Fly River, and there's a mine up there called the Octeti mine, and it's operated for almost more than 25 years now. But you can see how Fly River is now. The sedimentation, the river is just there. It's all polluted. And the government are doing something for the people to run a rehabilitation program or something to try to resettle the people some way. And we Sepik are different from Fly River. These people are still have this nomadian age style, but we Sepik are very different. Our life is just completely different from them. So the Fly River can be damaged and destroyed. And we thought, if the mine is there, mine is here, we'll be the next victim. Yes, the Sepik River people have been living there for many years. We have been we really enjoy, for many years we really enjoy life. And it's still practiced today. We have our own barter system, We have in trade relationship between the inland people and us, and all our culture, activity and whatever we live on, it all depends on the river, and it's our life. Once that river is gone, our life is gone. It's completely gone. So it's a great thing for us. Yeah, and there's a word saying that if you care for the mangroves and they will care for you, and that's a great concern. We have now not only mine, we have a logging company in place. There is a logging up and down the river now with tugboats and the pontoons that the boats that the Asian people are just traveling up almost to the almost here, from here, taking all the logs downstream. And it's another danger for us, They're going, to and fro from night and day, and it's another disaster for us. So it's happening now, but the mining will be just coming very shortly. So yeah. So if our logs are gone, it's another thing for us, because we live on logs, because the logs that give us life, like building canoes. It's a canoes our everyday use. Every family is up about 5 or 6 or 10 canoes, more than 10 canoes, for the kids, the mothers and fathers. So if the logging is continuing, and then there's another thing again, that our logs will be gone, and and what can we depend on? That's another thing. And also the mine. If the mine is gone, if the sedimentation build up like Fly River, all our logs will die. They can, it's a tropical country. We have our, the wetland. The trees can, survive for 6 months in the wet, and then they in the sunlight, they have enough, strength to, go for another 6 months in the wet again. So once we have the sedimentation build up, the water will rise and flow. the bank. That's another thing, affecting people fly. So, the same thing affects us as well. If there rise of water, all our logs will die, our trees will die. I mean, not logs, but trees. Yeah. So yeah, that's the mountain. That's the place where the mining will be. So the mining actually will be a pit mine. And then we have these people from Laos, not Laos, but there was the Penos did, probably employ some people to go and give a basic awareness, a little bit of awareness to the people, telling us about the mine and how the operation of the mine, and the quantity of the product, and the average years of the operation, all this. But one thing they indicated was that it would be a pit mine, and they will be about 5 to 6 pit. They'll be, and then one pit will be about 30 years. And then once the 30 years is over, and then go to another pit for another 30 years. And imagine that if they go for more than 6 mine, more than 5 pit, it's more than 100 years. And it's really a threat for us. And I do a little bit of explore down the river to try to get the view of the people about the mine. And all the people, they have the negative response, telling them no. It's our life. If government or we are not getting any support from the international community in any way, then our option is that physically we'll just go, and that's the end of us. Because we have to have a full evidence before the operation of the mine. So there have to be a baseline survey to get all the statistics figure of the people in schools and agriculture, whatever, like sampling of the water. And that can give me enough evidence for the future. If we have this destruction, then we can take the company or government to some areas to justice and tell them that we have the evidence. Yeah, this is the first day we arrived here. I was so impressed, me and Edward and Nancy, that we will have this warm welcome from the chiefs here. I mean, we were not expecting that, but to be a very simple people back home, and to be a very, a chief from a faraway land giving us an invitation and asking us to, giving an invitation to stay and do anything that we want, I was just really appreciate. So that was that we have to travel from there. And this was, yeah.
That was on our day trip when we went out to the Avatar Grove. So that was Jordan River.
Avatar Grove.
We went to go see the old growth forest.
The old growth forest, yeah. Yeah, that was, yeah, we just go to the old growth forest, and, seeing the forest, it was my dream, reflecting back to my place, Beside that mountain, there's a range called the Onsen Range, and it's the 3rd largest forest in the world that just lies close to the mining area. And the government was trying to do something about logging and all this, but that place is such untouched virgin area that nobody knows that place. There's a huge log and things that is there, but the government was planning to bring a log over there. But now the mining is another threat for the huge forest. So that forest does supply us in things in many ways. And I was looking at those trees up there, and I just focused back home to this the forest. If the forest can be destroyed, it will be something sad for us again. In that mountain forest, because down the river we have this sort of a very soft trees, doesn't really last long. For that kind of like motor, boat motor. Basically, we don't have this sort of boats or stuff back home. We have these duck out big canoes and put our boat motors, and we travel. So those are the places where they actually give us logs to have big canoes to help us in our commercial need. Yeah, the Sepik young boys are enjoying. The question is that can the generation can enjoy the Sepik in the future? They're enjoying the time when in the high flood. So it's a big question to us now. If the impact of the mine, it'll be a great thing for us. There will be the boys, our kids, our children, our grandchildren would not enjoy their life. Yes, we are all Pacific people. We share the same water. And we share the same water, go through my, go through my soul, my soul, it just come back to you again. It's just the same water we just live in. And it's just that I'm just going to leave my final word like, we are Pacific people. And we respect the great nation of, the Canada. And the indigenous people here, they are just a great people. Just observing their culture and their life, it's just, we have the similarity in there. But looking back to us, it's a tiny country, and it's just a developed country. But our government is just, there's some big countries are just putting the string around their neck to tell them, go and do this and that. So I think the government has not ever strength to say no. So it's a big thing that I just want to leave here, that it's a word, a mouth-to-mouth word is a big thing.